London City, home to, well, so many things. Rainy days and summer blooms, sprawling parks and crowded corners. And always, everywhere you turn, food, glorious food. And Indian food has for more years than we can count been an essential part of the lineup. Though to the discerning consumer, some would argue not so much the glorious part of it. Happily, no longer. The Indian food scene is currently a vibrant, exciting one. As fun, as complex, as of the minute as anything else the city has going on. And it has plenty. From Brighton to Brixton, there's so much to try. Go back so long, and few are reminded of that more regularly than Vivek Singh. His restaurant, the Cinnamon Kitchen in the middle of Devonshire Square, occupies a building with a significant amount of history.
So welcome to Cinnamon Kitchen.
Thank you.
In the city. The real reason I love this place was this building used to be a spice warehouse owned by the East India Company. How fitting it is that a space that used to house India's best known export then, i.e. spices, indigo, tea and what have you, silk and everything, houses India's best known export now, the Indian restaurant.
So you're saying that this building was just full of all the spices you're playing with today?
Yeah. I mean, so this was the old Bengal warehouse.
Right.
The Bengal warehouses, and this building happens to be right behind the erstwhile headquarters of East India Company. So East India House is right behind us there, in that direction, yes.
And so, I mean, I suppose, and if you think about it, that was at the stage where a British public, now known for its great love of Indian food in its various manifestations, was perhaps first introduced to the spices.
Probably did, yes, as well as tea and silk and what have you.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
Speaking of the good stuff, inside he's created a bright, sophisticated space, lots of light, lots of flourishes, a philosophy I'm assured extends to the menu as well.
It is fun, isn't it? And actually that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be fun and interactive and quite sort of energetic and vibey.
The first plate has a lot of that fun and a bit of wink too. Jhalmuri in the building that was once upon a time Bengal House. And yes, Jhalmuri done very differently.
So this is our kind of
Jhalmuri?
Modern Indian take on a jhalmuri.
I love it.
Carpaccio of salmon with a Bengali inspired jhalmuri.
It's wonderful.
Except the muri is been caramelized. And so for that added texture, and it's served with sort of very wasabi-esque, wasabi-like looking and wasabi-like tasting, but a green pea and mustard chutney. Really.
And I love that you brought the mustard in. I love it.
This is an endeavor to connect the best of both worlds. You know, the old to the new, east to the west, and you know.
I'm casting covetous eyes.
Yeah, go along.
Yes, that is a bright salad of watermelon, as punchy as it's pretty. The watermelon is pressed and laced with tamarind. It's served with masala, cashew nuts and a dash of curry on the side. I think what I'm most excited about is that Indian food, as part of a destination, has become exciting. That's new for me. I would always spend my time sneering at, people carrying achar and paratha and thepla and roaming around and wanting to just eat Indian food. Like, what was the point of traveling? Well, the point of traveling is to eat what each city is doing, and what this city is doing is Indian food bloody well. This is good. This is really good. And well, it only gets better. A plate that I discover might be one of my favorite plates of squid ever. Here it's served plump and juicy with lemon and chili and garlic. It sounds simple, but they have rammed in more flavor than I could hope to convey. I was similarly dazzled, I confess, when introduced to the eggplant. Hunks of it beautifully sweet, grilled perfectly with its sesame, peanut and tamarind crumble. I don't even like aubergine and I couldn't stop eating it. This is just some of the best bangan I've had. I love it, and anyone who knows me will know that bangan is not even my favorite vegetable. And look at me, I'm just walloping it down. If my mother could see me now. There was a wild African prawn grilled with goan reshado masala. It's spiced and nice, and best of all, comes with head and tail attached. Remember here, produce is king.
The idea is, when you use very good ingredients, you need to allow them enough space.
I agree.
Not to overwhelm them with either spice or sauce or curry or whatever it is. So it's just about finding that real balance, and by deconstructing traditional recipes in the way that we try to do it all the time, you try to create layers of flavors and textures. For example, that big monster of a wild African prawn that you're having right now, it would be a real crying shame to cut into very small pieces and cook it to death in bowls of brown sauce.
I completely agree. Another example is this lamb, perfectly pink, char-grilled on the outside with a Madras-style coconut curry. It's clever, inventive fare, all of this, and it's cooking of this kind that has helped an entire country of curry lovers move beyond just that.
When we talk about the affection, the engagement, the understanding for Indian food, it has always been there. But probably discovery wasn't as much as we see today. When I first started off 15 years ago, I thought my problem with the Indian food scene wasn't that it wasn't popular. Very popular. Yet it hadn't quite acquired the status of a mainstream cuisine.
Right.
Mainstream not for numbers, but for quality and for people's desire to indulge and experiment.
Yeah.
I'm delighted that 15 years on, you see all kinds of people from all different walks of life and all different faiths and all different backgrounds taking to Indian food, and in a way that and expressing it in a way that is so current and so contextual.
You know, it's one thing for people to want to eat it, but when I think everyone starts wanting to cook it as well, when more people outside and take the Indian food movement further.
So you then realize that it's actually transcended the boundaries of merely subcontinental food and gone on to a stage where people from all walks of life are standing up and taking notice.
Right.
So that is where I think Indian food in the global scene has arrived. It is truly truly arrived.
And then, as though to prove that very point, my God. Looks, God, what is this? It's a good question, and the answers are a fresh, fabulous melon salad with melon sorbet, a creamy mango and pistachio kulfi. This, that I'm told, is reverse rasmalai with milk ice cream.
A reverse malai, that's cardamom donut filled with milk jam. Yeah, rabdi.
It's great. Also the caramel yogurt, that's mishti doi to you and me, with wonderful tamarind and coriander strawberries. And then this slice here.
Essential British classic. The sticky toffee pudding meets a gajar ka halwa. And they have a lot of fun together.
They do have a lot of fun together. That's a full-blown party. Party isn't done. A wonderfully wobbly panna cotta of thandai with more of those terrific tamarind strawberries. And a coconut and lemongrass tapioca kheer with mouth-puckering melon sorbet. So this is great. Modern Indian food, revamped and reinvented, is taking London city by storm, as well it should. But what about the humbler offerings? Like a stand that does street food, well, street side. A Jhal Muri Express, if you will. And it looks like the real deal. The Kira knife looks all too familiar. The Nimbu juicer certainly is. The Muri Dabba too. And now, do also check out who's manning the counter. Meet, as I did, Angus Danoon. He's probably not what you expected, but he is a man with a tremendous love for the street food of Kolkata.
It is Jalmuri, the famous Jalmuri, Kolkata famous.
Kolkata famous, here in the middle of Brixton.
I know, unbelievable, isn't it? What wonders you have in this country.
How did this happen?
It happened by luck, really.
Yes.
I was in Kolkata and I made a film there and all the street food. I'm a chef, so I saw this snack and I thought, I can do this on the road.
Right.
But the reason I kept doing it is because the first time I tried it, the first time I did it, the people who ate it from many, many different sides of society,
Right.
they all had the same reaction.
Which was?
They liked it. They loved it. They loved it once and they loved it twice.
And so he decided to bring a little slice of Kolkata life with him to England. And he hasn't missed a trick. The Everyone Loves Jhalmuri Express looks pretty authentic both inside and out. And his love of Jhalmuri is an abiding one. Of all the things that you could have chosen to do, why was it Jhalmuri?
Because it's cheap, it's very accessible, it crosses boundaries, it happens to be vegan and vegetarian and all that, mainly because it's a very, very good snack. It has a magic to it. There's lots of variations, but it's a similar theme. And when people eat it, it brings them up. It's a very good balance. Nutritionally, it does things. It does a little kind of a jigger. It's endless, the possibilities, the potential of the Jalmuri.
And the response, mine as well, has been nothing but encouraging. Well, I have to say it's delicious, and honestly, the last thing I expected to have, here, right?
Yeah, you adapt to the climate, the weather, the people, the tastes. So in a way, it's going a little bit more with the imli chutney.
Yeah.
It's a bit more towards the bell. Like in Kolkata, you'd very rarely get a sweet chutney like this.
Agreed. I need to share the detail.
Yeah, you do. It's all
Because
about
this
the
you
detail.
did not pick up in London.
No.
This you do not get here. This is from home.
Yeah, and this as well, the knife.
Yeah.
The knife is like brilliant.
Yes.
It's like an old hacksaw blade sandwiched with 3 nails.
Yeah.
But you can forget all your Japanese fancy knives or whatever.
Right.
This costs 15 rupees, and that is the best knife in the world for this.
Really?
Absolutely.
And his repertoire is a little larger than you might have bargained for.
So I do puchka, lassis, I like dokla, do a little dokla dish. I do gugni chat, you know gugni, with the tomato, which is wonderful. Yeah, a few other things.
And I'm well pleased to hear it. They say the first indication that a cuisine has truly hit the global scene is when non-local chefs embrace it with equal enthusiasm. And the good news is Mr. Danoon is not alone.